What is going on, everyone? Welcome to our divisional round Sunday NFL live stream. We have two NFL games to get into, as well as a couple other sports on the slate that we're going to dive into. With only two NFL games, we're going to go into these games a little bit more. So we're going to start out. We got the full crew here. No Ace this week, so have an Ace back on the live stream this Sunday. So that's good for some playoff football. Yesterday, we saw the Ravens take down the Texans and cover that 9.5-point spread. And then we saw the Niners get a last-minute win. Packers cover, Niners win. Some good games yesterday, especially that night game was a hell of a game. We got two good games on the slate today. We're going to start up in Detroit, where we have Tampa Bay heading to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions come into this game as a current 6.5-point favorite, minus 270 on the money line. The Bucks at plus 220. And the over-under at 49.5. I'll get right to it. If you saw the video on the social media, I'm on the Lions here. I got it at minus 6 on MGM, so make sure you're shopping that number. This line has been fluctuating a little bit. I do really think that the Lions jump out, get a good lead. I think the Bucks will be playing from behind. I just think that really in this spot, I like the Lions at home. I think the Bucks are in a really good spot to come in here and cover this number. I just think Detroit's been a different team at home. They didn't cover last week, that 3-point favorite against the Rams. That was a close, obviously a lot of narratives going into that game. But I like the Lions here minus the 6 points. Mackie, I'll hand things off over to you. I know you're on the other side of this one, so let's get some healthy debate going.
Yeah, I do love the Bucks in this situation. Not that I think so I do think that they're going to win this game, but I don't think it's like a trap scenario. I just think that the 6.5 is kind of a disrespectful line. Baker's been playing really good football. They've won 5 of their last 6. Huge statement win last week against the Eagles. They got to play that game at home, and we know the Eagles have been sliding, but that's definitely still a huge game to go in. Put up points on the board. The defense played really well. 33-9, commanding win. That showed me a lot about this Bucks team. I think they have it in them. They have that veteran defense that me and Ace have been talking about all year. Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans have been playing really good football. Rashad White, I think he'll find the back of the end zone today. Chris Godwin's been coming onto the scene as well. Cade Otton had a huge game last week. You didn't even see a lot of Mike Evans. They still put up 33 points. I think that says a lot about that Bucks offense. I'm not discrediting this Lions team at all. You know how good that offense is. How much they can roll, how many weapons they have. Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, both those running backs, and we know Jared Goff wants this for the city of Detroit. But I just think this Bucks team is playing really good football. I think the 6.5 is a disrespectful line. I think they're going to keep it close, and they've won 5 of their last 6, like I said. So this team's rolling right now. They have a lot to play for. This defense has been here before. I like Baker to get the job done. I think they cover the 6.5. I think they win outright, but I'm not going to play that on my card.
Yeah, Mackie, I'm right there with you. I like that take a lot. Who would have thought it was a pipe dream for the Bucks to even hit their low total season wins of over 6.5, and then we are.
I had this team winning 4 games this year. I was completely wrong. I'll admit it. But holy shit.
You changed your narrative early on once you saw what was going on. That championship caliber defense that I predicted really has shown up, and it was evident last week. And Baker, what he's able to do with the superstars around him, a good O-line, solid head coach. I like that coaching staff down there in Tampa Bay, honestly. A lot of veteran pieces over there. But I think that they're going to be pesky all day long. I like that they get 6.5 points in a playoff games. That's a lot of points. Imagine if you tease them with the over here, because I was leaning the over, but I thought it was a little high, sitting just under 50 points. So if I can get over double-digit points for the Bucks this week, I love that. I think there's value for them on the money line as well, sitting at plus 220. If you shop that, might find around plus 250. You were talking about Cade Otton and Chris Godwin. I'm very high on them too. I think Chris Godwin's sitting at plus 220 to get in. Meanwhile, Cade Otton's at plus 360. You know they'll get the looks. I think Mike Evans will have a bounce back week. Not as much of a daunting task. I know the Eagles didn't play well, but they have a tougher matchup for Mike Evans on paper, and it's a lot more free in that secondary of the Lions. The Lions hang their hat on a stout run defense, but that through the air they get exposed, and that's what Tampa Bay has been excelling on. I think it's going to be hard fought throughout. It's going to be tough for Gibbs and Montgomery to get going with that front seven that Tampa Bay portrays. They shut down the run. Goff's going to be under duress. I think there's going to be points from both sides, though. I think Goff has a solid day through the air with Laporta, Amon-Ra, and then the rest of the cast has really stepped up, Jamison, Reynolds, and co. I think it's going to be close. I like a lot of points here. Give me the Bucks with the points here. I think it's going to be too close for a playoff game to have 6.5 as the spread. Huff, I think that minus 6, it could be in play, but backdoor cover, tight game. I don't know. It's the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with a guy like Baker that's going to play. Obviously, they could be down 10 and he's going for that touchdown to try to even just cover the spread, get it in the game. But to what you said, get the Bucks at 10.5 points. Mackie, that was your leg in our parlay. We cashed Lamar 40 rushing yards yesterday. McCaffrey anytime touchdown. Jesse had the over in the Green Bay San Francisco game at 42.5. So the last leg of our parlay today is down to the Bucks at plus 10.5 to cash, basically a 270 parlay. So looking to get that one in before the end of the day. That'd be a nice hit there. Like I said, I am on Detroit. I just think, let me ask you this. So the one number that I did like was for, I guess, a Bucks side was Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to be slinging the ball, throwing it a lot, over under 35.5 passing attempts.
That's not a bad thing, especially if you're on the Lions today. If you think they're going to play catch up, Baker's going to have to be chucking to get back in the game. I don't think Rachaad White has a big game on the ground, maybe through the air, but I like that 35.5 passing attempts. I like his passing touchdown prop. I like a lot of the receiving props too, because the Bucks are going to have to be scrapping to keep up with a high flying offense like Detroit.
Over under 1.5 touchdowns. The over is minus 106. And that's just on FanDuel. You could probably find that at plus money.
Yeah, if they get in the end zone, I feel like there's going to be points for both sides. I think both teams are able to pull up at least 3 touchdowns this week, get into the mid-20s, low 30s. That's why I'm on the over as well.
Yeah, I like that. Mackie, you got any props that you were looking at for this game, or are you just on Bucks?
No, I like that Baker prop that you just said, over 35.5. I think the only way they don't hit that is if they get off to an early lead and they have a lead late in the game and they're just kind of trying to kill clock.
And they're having success running the ball. That's
I don't
see that.
I don't see a scenario. Coming. Yeah, I mean, I think Baker can kind of tear up this defense. I know Jared Goff is going to get his opportunities as well. Bucks defense, I think, is a little bit better, but Jared Goff's been here before. But I think he's definitely going to be slinging the football. I do like the over. I don't love it. I'm not going to have a play on it, but I do think this game does end up going over. I don't know. I didn't really look into any.
Jared Goff's going to have a tough day sledding, dude. I think he is. That front seven for the
Bucks. I don't
Bucks
think so.
New.
I don't. He's been here before. He's the only player on that Lions team that actually has been here before. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if anybody else has, but majority of this team, he's the only player that's been there. You look at the other side. Baker's one of the only players that haven't been there out of that core team at least. So this Bucks team in reality has more experience than this Lions team, but then again, this Lions team has been playing really well all year. That offense, I don't really see anything slowing that offense down.
Hoss, shout out to you. I think that the receiving prop for Wright probably going to be sitting around 3.5 catches. I think that does cash, especially with the way this game script's going to go. One thing to remember, we don't think White's going to have a great game on the ground, but throughout the season, he was one of the league leaders in broken tackles. So that could play a huge role for the Detroit Lions if they're not able to take him down. That secondary is weak. I don't have any confidence in that Lions secondary. I know they can stop the run, but if they're not making tackles today against Rachaad White, it's going to be a tough day.
Yeah, if they can get that run game going, Lions can be in trouble.
Yeah, I think Mike Evans, big day today. I really do. Chris Godwin as well. The two of them are going to eat. I know they have a few other options on the outside, but I think those big dogs are going to get over 6 catches each. They're going to see 8 to 10 targets, 8 to 12 targets, a couple of red zone targets. Cade Otton doing his thing in the middle of the field. I like points here. I like the props for the Bucks. I don't know. Maybe, Mackie, do I like that Bucks money line play? We'll have to see. I'm going to be prop shopping. Definitely tune in for our cards that are going to drop in a few hours.
Huff. Do you see a big game out of Brian Branch, the rookie, against this star wide receiver core?
Not against these two.
Yeah, it's tough.
Chris Godwin's gone for over 1,000 yards in each of the last 6 seasons. That guy's good.
I will say this. I did like what the Gardner Johnson was trying to chirp Baker. Baker was like, he obviously doesn't watch film because Russell Gage hasn't played a snap.
Oh my God, you can't mess up that bad, dude.
Gardner Johnson, take the shiesty off your face and go look at the film. There's no Russell Gage out there.
I will say that was so funny. I was laughing at that. I'm like, that was such a good chirp back from Baker because it wasn't even really a chirp. He's just like, he's not watching film. He doesn't play all year.
Hey, one more thing on Baker though. Will he be able to handle the adversity? That place is going to be rocking up in Detroit. They were last week too. It's going to be a tough game.
Did you hear about the average ticket price to get in?
How much?
Second most expensive NFL divisional round game. Number 1 was Brady versus Breeze in both of their last year or whatever. Breeze's last year, that everyone knew he was retiring. The average ticket price for this game was just over $1,000. I think it was like almost in between $1,000 and $1,100 to get into this game.
And those people,
because they won't be here for another 30 years. Took them 30 years to get here. They're gonna need another 30 to get back.
Yeah. Last home game of the season, regardless if they win. If they win, they have to go over to San Francisco. I think that's a good segue to go into the other NFC matchup from yesterday, Huff. Maybe talk about what the winner of this NFC bout today has to look forward to going to the Bay Area.
Yeah, so obviously the 9.5 point spread with that game yesterday, that last night game, that was a hell of a game. Packers had the lead most of the time. Niners, they obviously never were really out of it. I think the worst it got at one point was 21-14 Packers. It might have been a little higher, but Green Bay was hanging, or San Francisco was hanging around, and then once they were going on that last drive, it seems like whenever I need McCaffrey to score like a first touchdown, they love to fuck around and do all this shit. But when they need to win the game, they're like, hey, let's just give the ball to 23 and watch him go get a 90-yard. Yeah, like, don't overthink it. Like, just give it to him. They brought him in for a reason. He's obviously 2 touchdowns yesterday. We had him in our parlays at any time, but he was the difference for sure.
That Niners team definitely scares everyone a lot less after last night.
I don't know, though. That's a massive come from behind win. We're going to talk about the Ravens here in a bit after we get into our AFC matchup today. I think one of the big factors is that big 2-3 weeks off for these teams that were resting their guys. You could tell in the first half, both teams only put up 1 touchdown in the first half. That's crazy for the Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco 49ers. It took them a bit to get going. They figured it out in the second half. Brock Purdy, slow start. I think they'll get going with that ground game too. And whatever team they see out, if it's the Bucs, I think that's a better matchup. But if they see this Lions defense, I think they'll be able to put up a lot of points. I jumped on that Niners team yesterday. I got out of coaching my game. I didn't have any play on it. I was looking at a McCaffrey Niners money line parlay, which would have hit. It was sitting at minus 160 around there, though. I was like, that's too steep of odds for that. So I took them live right after the Dre Greenlaw pick. I got him at minus 110, the first Dre Greenlaw pick, that is. And they ended up winning the game. I saw a lot of people that grabbed it right before that, too, when it was 21-14 and the Pack was driving, getting around plus 170. So you can never count out this Niners team in a one-score game. Jordan Love showing his youth and inexperience, I think, in yesterday's game with a couple of boneheaded plays late.
Yeah, that last interception was very forced, but that Packers team, I mean, it's hard to root against them, even after they booted my Cowboys. Jordan Love is a dog, man. He's going to be really good for a lot of years to come. I'm looking forward to watching him for the next 10 years.
Aaron Jones broke that run. I think they were going to the NFC Championship. He got to the mid-yard line. Shout out to that Niners defense. They gave it their all. They caught him from behind and kept themselves in the game, and they were able to get another stop and go on to win.
Yeah, that was definitely the best game that we've seen, obviously, yesterday, probably throughout the whole playoffs.
That was the first
game was good, but that was a hell of a game last night.
That was the first game in this playoffs that had a lead change in the fourth quarter.
Wow. I believe that, yeah.
And there's only one lead change. And there's only one
lead
were
up the whole time in that game.
No, I think there was 2.
The Rams come back.
That Niners team, I'm still telling you, I've had that preseason bet in for them to win the whole thing. I've been riding them. Huff's like, why do you like this team?
I can't stand them. They're
so cool. I mean, that's a homegrown team. Besides bringing in CMC,
besides bringing in the best player.
No, but hey, I mean, that's just blame Carolina. You can't blame them. They were just sitting there on their lap. But the way they built that defense and that offense, they've drafted a lot of this, put this team around. How do you have that much money? Because of the quarterback, right? But Shanahan, great coach. I think he's due. I like watching the superstar team. I want to see them get back there and get a rematch either against the Ravens or the Chiefs, who they lost to in their last 2 appearances. But yeah, they're still top dogs. It's going to be tough to go in there in the NFC Championship and take them out, I think.
I think half of my hate from the 49ers is also from my time when I was a Seahawk, like a huge Seahawk fan.
Yeah, Russ guy.
Yeah, that definitely played a part of it.
I think let's get into this other AFC matchup, Huff. I think this one might have a few lead changes in the fourth quarter. Mackie has some cool predictions for some extra time in this one, but I'm excited for this one. This is probably my most anticipated game of the weekend.
Absolutely, yeah. So we get the game that everyone, like you said, the game of the weekend. We get Mahomes at Josh Allen, Chiefs at Bills. Going to be cold up there in Buffalo, where the Bills are a 2.5-point favorite, minus 152 on the money line. Chiefs plus 128. I can't read that, but yes, 128, and the over/under is 45.5. I like the Bills here. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I truly might just have a couple props in this game. I think the Bills come out on top. I truly just can't bet against Mahomes in the playoffs, so I'm not gonna be carding the Bills, I don't think. But I do lean on the Bills. I'd probably go with maybe a Pacheco touchdown. I'm going to pull up those odds right now. Actually, that's one that I'd be looking at.
Sure.
Anytime for Pacheco plus 105, I might have to slam that. I really like that play. Yeah, that's probably what I'll be going with on this game. I don't love the side either way, just because I could really talk myself into both teams winning. It being in Buffalo this time around, Mahomes' first playoff game on the road. There's so many things going into this game that we haven't seen with previous matchups between these two. We're so used to seeing Allen have to go to Arrowhead, and then we kind of just love Mahomes at home. But I don't know. The Chiefs have showed that they're not the same team. The Bills are on fire right now. I'm just going to go with the Pacheco touchdown. I lean on the Bills, but I'm really confident in that Pacheco touchdown, especially at plus 105. Fuck.
Such a tough game to bet on, dude. I mean, both teams are hitting their peak football. I mean, the Bills have been rolling for weeks now, and they're at home with Mafia in front of them. Mahomes' first game on the road, like you said. but I don't think that Taylor Swift is missing out on the AFC Championship this year. I like the Chiefs here on the money line. How often do you see Patrick Mahomes at plus money in the playoffs? I know he's not Tom Brady. I'm the first to always say he isn't the Tom Brady, but whenever you saw with the best quarterback in the league at plus money back in the day, you always took it. So maybe I have to do the same here with 15. I think that he gets going. I think there's points on both sides, and I'm much higher on the Chiefs defense than I am on the Bills defense. Spagnuolo's got him playing great football. That secondary is really stepping up. They had anybody under the radar here. They had a cornerback make the all-pro team in the NFL. Nobody saw that coming with a defensive piece from the Chiefs. We always think about their offensive side. So they're going to get going. I love that plus 105 for Pacheco. I think Rashee Rice continues to have a good game. Meanwhile, I think Josh Allen's going to do his thing. He's going to be slinging the ball all around. He's going to be running a lot too. Abik really likes his 225 yards passing. He's saying it's free. Everything's free to Abik as soon as he hits it. But when it doesn't hit, it's not free, I don't think. But I think he's going to be doing a lot more running here. I think James Cook's going to be trying to pound the rock a little bit too. I think he's going to end up losing the game, and it might go to overtime. So that 225 might cash it there. I like the 1.5 touchdowns as well, Abik. But yeah, I think Josh Allen runs one in himself again, and he hits that rushing over prop. That's the most confident plays I have on the Bill side, and I like the over. But I have the Chiefs on the money line here to go play the Ravens next week in the AFC Championship. Mackie, let me know what you're siding with. Huff and I split down the middle here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Huff here on this one. I'm going to go with the Bills to cover the spread. I know it's a tough pick. Bills already beat the Chiefs this year. It was home though, and they're home again, so that's why I think they get the job done. I honestly think this Bills team outweighs this Chiefs team big time, and the only way that the Chiefs can possibly win this football game is if Josh Allen turns the ball over, which he hasn't done for the last 7 weeks of the season, which he's to get to the spot to where he's at now. That defense, I think it's going to step up. I think it's going to play well, even with how many injuries it has. Chiefs offense hasn't really been playing that well. I know last week they were able to put up 26 points, but we know the weather conditions that went into that one. You get to play Miami in negative 10 degrees. Obviously, your defense is going to step up big. But that defense has been the backbone of that Chiefs team. So if they can make Josh Allen turn the ball over 1 or 2 times, I think they can have a good chance of winning this football game. But I can see the Bills winning this game by 10-plus points. I think they're a far better team when it comes to what Josh Allen can do. I think if Josh Allen could just take over this game, then they'll be all right, because Chiefs are not going to be able to keep up putting up points. But if that Chiefs defense is able to step up, make Josh Allen turn the ball over a few times, I think it could stay close and the Chiefs can win this football game. But I mean, this is his football game to lose, in my opinion.
So if this goes to a shootout, you think there's no chance the Chiefs can hang around?
No shot.
Oh.
And that's crazy to say about Pat Mahomes. But look at this Chiefs team.
Did you see the look on I was looking at your face when he said that.
In a shootout situation, you are not trusting this Chiefs offense over this Bills offense right now. There's no way. There's absolutely no chance.
Big Hoss is going to take offense to this one because Lamar Jackson finally won a playoff game. He's in the AFC Championship for the first time in his career. But the two most talented quarterbacks in the NFL are going head-to-head. Which one's going to turn the ball over more? That's going to be the important factor in this one.
Yeah, but you cannot anticipate the turnovers. You got to anticipate on.
Hey, the last few weeks, that's all you were saying. If the Steelers are hanging around for not you, but like people that were against Josh Allen, if the Steelers are hanging around, it's going to be on the Josh Allen turnovers. If the Dolphins are going to win this game, Josh Allen's going to turn the ball over.
Why? And he hasn't.
This is the best twice in Miami. This is the best defense that Josh Allen has played in weeks. Why are we changing the narrative now?
Because he hasn't, and they've been winning. They've won 7 in a row. They were 7-6, and now they're in the 2 seed in the divisional game, hosting a playoff game. That's insane. Josh Allen literally flipped the switch. He hasn't turned the ball over, which is the only thing that he's needed to do to be a top 2 quarterback in this league. He is 1,000% a top 2 quarterback in this league right now because he hasn't turned the ball over.
And who's the guy ahead of him?
Pat Mahomes with the worst roster around him.
All right.
Both of them have been loose with the ball, but I think
don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting Pat Mahomes at all. I'm saying
I'm trying to talk you into a hole. I'm the one trying to dig the hole.
I'm not discrediting Pat Mahomes at all. Best quarterback in the league. His team is not that good around him. His offense specifically is not that good around him. The defense would have to step up and make Josh Allen turn the ball over a few times because this Bills roster is
that Chiefs defense has been rolling. They have
big time.
The backbone of this team.
But they got to play Miami. They got to play the Miami Dolphins in negative 10 degrees last week. So
but I'm saying the whole season, Mahomes hasn't looked like himself all year long. It's been
100%. Which is why I said this Chiefs backbone is a defense, which is brand new because we know for the past 5 years how dominating this offense has been.
But it's crunch time. It's crunch time here. I think both quarterbacks are able to do their thing. I like the over once again here. It's a playoff game. I know it's hard to get the over. It's a cold game up in Buffalo. Yada yada. But I think there's gonna be points traded. Mackie, give us your overtime. dream scenario here. I know you're on.
Oh
the Bills,
yeah. I just think it would be because I don't really love the Bills. I kind of hate the Bills, to be honest. But I think it would just be hilarious if they got this rule change because they didn't get the ball back in the playoffs last year, so they get to go to overtime this year, score a touchdown, but they got to give the ball back to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs go down, score a touchdown, go for the 2 points, get the 2 points, and the Bills get fucked by their own rule change. That would just be an awesome scenario.
This game's only plus 1,200 to go to overtime. Normally it's like 18, 19, 2,000 for games in the NFL to go to overtime.
Listen,
I feel like
the script writers are really tapping in for this one.
What do you think about Haas's comment here? I like both of these picks here. I said Josh Allen rushing prop. What do you think about Mahomes rushing pack? Get a double QB rushing prop, maybe a double QB touchdown parlay. Great odds, I'm guessing, on that as well.
Ace, I actually like that.
You could throw.
I think he's gonna have to resort to his legs a few times with this.
I think both of them.
Well, Josh Allen, yeah, but you don't really see Mahomes run as much as Josh Allen.
That's sneaky though. He runs efficiently more than Josh Allen, looking to create contact in those big runs like he had against the Steelers. Mahomes, he scampers for about 8 to 12. He picks up that first down when he has to. He knows where the sticks are, and he'll get the job done when needed.
Ace, I also saw Haas's comment. That's 12-0 Chiefs in terms of Grammy wins.
Yeah. Hey, last question before we get into that AFC recap from yesterday. I think the Chiefs' success is going to be run the ball efficiently on the ground, strong defense, force turnovers, and Mahomes finding Kelsey and resparking that with Rashee Rice a bit as well. What's the Bills' recipe of success today?
I've talked myself kind of into the Chiefs. I'm not betting a side on this one. I just love that Pacheco touchdown. I'm actually trying to find the best odds on that. So Mackie, if you want to jump in here, I think you already got the Bills coming on your card.
The recipe for the Bills to win this football game is for Josh Allen not to turn the ball over. If he does not turn the ball over, I promise you that they win this football game. That's what it's going to come down to if he can control the ball. Because like I said earlier, if he
Pacheco.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I kind of like that as well. I mean, I feel like he always finds a way to get in the end zone.
And if they're going to set the tone of the game, they're going to be running the ball against a weak, banged-up Bills defense. I know they're coming together, but that should be a good one. Huff, get us into this Ravens game from yesterday. That was a Haas really wants to get into that one. I know it was a blowout game, but we got to.
Yeah, we'll give him a recap. So yesterday we saw the Ravens take down the high-flying Texans with C.J. Stroud, 34-10. Looked like the Texans were going to hang around in that first half. Obviously, like me and Mackie were talking about on Wednesday, the rest versus rust. Ravens came out in that game, only put up the 10 points in the first half. Didn't really want to put the foot on the gas until the second half, when Lamar just decided to kind of take over with his feet, got the rushing touchdown. We used, I think it was likely they got the one. Lamar got a second rushing touchdown. He had a hell of a game. I don't know his exact passing numbers, but 100 yards on the ground. I did take that, the rushing prop Ace. You did as well. 152 in the air, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, a hell of a game, but it said more for me. I think the Ravens defense just stymied one of the hottest offenses in football with that Texans team. The Texans looked like they were going to do I thought they were going to hang around in this game. 10-point spread, at least, an opportunity to tease them to 16.5. Definitely didn't see them losing this game by 24 points, but Lamar took matters into his own hands. It was the legs of Lamar Jackson that were the difference.
Yeah, especially, and we kind of expected that. He's the best player on the field. He's got to step up and do that in the playoffs. I wish I carded him or Likely on the touchdown, told Abik, told Haas, told Lazy Phenom. I was like, oh, it's either Gus, Likely, or Lamar. I was like, I'm going to take all 3, put one on the card. Went with Gus because I thought he was the safest. The other 2 ended up hitting. That's the way it goes. But good game overall. I do think that this Ravens team, let's pump the brakes a little bit there, Haas. Already talking about going to the Super Bowl. Hey, you got a big AFC championship against one of the top dogs.
No matter who you get, I wouldn't be that confident.
For this, not Mackie so much. Coming from a guy who's seen 6 Super Bowl championships, don't count your chickens, don't count your eggs before they hatch. You got to take care of business week in and week out. Keep your eye on this one. I don't know who you'd rather see, Buffalo Bills or Patrick Mahomes. You either see the guy who always goes there or the team that has your number in the Buffalo Bills. So
Haas,
either
throw
way,
that in the chat. I'm curious who you'd rather see here. Would you rather your Ravens playing the Bills or playing the Chiefs? Just throw that in the chat. We'll keep rolling until we see
massive, though, that they're going to be in M&T Bank Stadium because that place was rocking. Tough place to play. They've been great at home all year long. I know Mackie wasn't high on these. He wasn't high on them. He didn't take these Ravens too much this year, but he always said when they're at home at M&T Bank Stadium, they're a force to be reckoned with. And securing that number 1 seed is going to be massive for them come next week. Their eyes are going to be on this game today. They're going to look for any forms of success that the defenses have against these elite quarterbacks, and hopefully Lamar Jackson will be able to show that he's better than them in that conversation still.
No, you definitely said it right. I haven't really been high on this Ravens team all year. I've kind of faded them in and out, and that's probably why I'm down 30 units. But that says a lot about my season. This Ravens team's legit. That defense didn't give up a point. They gave up 3 points yesterday. It was a kick return touchdown that they
That's
got the
crazy.
touchdown on. That's CJ Stroud, who averaged the most yards per game by any quarterback this season. Ravens completely shut him down. Going into M&T Bank, I said it last week. I said it's a different animal than you getting to play home in your dome. And CJ Stroud was not comfortable. That Ravens team was rolling, took care of business. Lamar Jackson did what he needed to do. I would be very scared to see this team next week.
Agreed.
But yeah, they are playing either the Chiefs or the Bills. So I mean, there's no cakewalk there.
The AFC Championship's gonna be so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Whatever this game is today, Huff. Whatever this game is today in the AFC, it's gonna be even better next week.
Yeah,
Super Bowl comes out of the AFC this year, I think.
I don't know. Niners best team on paper. You know what they say too? Hey, Mackie, they don't ask how. You just got to get.
No, you're right. They definitely do not ask how. No.
Ask those Dallas Cowboys. Would they ever rather want a grimy game or put up 35, 40 points?
No, but that made me so mad last night seeing that Niners team because the Cowboys could easily beat that team and they just fucking lost to the fucking Packers.
They just gave up 1,000,000 points.
Oh, it makes me angry, but I'm just let's go.
All right, let's keep it rolling, Huff.
All right, yeah. So that is going to do it for our NFL. The 2 games that we have on the slate for us today. We're going to get into our mortal locks after, or right now, I should say. And then we got our parlay, like I said, that is still pending. We have 1 leg left today. We're looking to get another one out as well. But we'll start out with our mortal locks. So my mortal lock, I'm going to go back to the Detroit versus Tampa Bay game. I usually go Gibbs to score a touchdown. I am going Montgomery. They feed him to start the game. I'm going David Montgomery anytime touchdown -115 for my mortal lock of the week.
Bucks plus 6.5. Lock it in. Give me
ride
Baker.
it, Mackie. Ride it. You're fucking convincing me to throw this one on the card too. I've been feeling it. I've been feeling it. Mackie, he loves the sweat mortal locks too. So I guess I have to. Is it tough to ride with Mackie on the season? I'll do it in the playoffs though. We're here. My mortal lock though, I've been bouncing around on a lot of them. I think I'm gonna go with the Chiefs on the money line here. It's gonna be a sweat just like Mackie has. I think Patrick Mahomes gets the AFC Championship and has that duel with Lamar Jackson. It's not gonna be a pretty one. I think this one does go to overtime, but Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs defense, they're gonna do just enough to get the job done. Sitting that plus money too, I'm just astonished. I know it's in Buffalo, but how often do you see a quarterback of that caliber at plus money? I don't know if we'll ever see him again. First ever playoff game on the road for him. It's going to say a lot about his legacy. Let's see it. So excited for these games today. Shout out to our chat, by the way. Mortal is Tampa Bay Bills. Your mortal lock is Tampa Bay and the Bills. I don't think that's a good mortal lock at all. 2 very big asks. The Bills, the Bucks in themselves is a big ask. We also have Chance Galucci mortal lock. Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Not too bad if we think there's a lot of points in that game. Ravens Super Bowl watch party. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's keep these locks mortal though, not unlocked.
You go, I don't like that mortal lock at all.
No, I mean your mortal lock's going to be plus 500. Okay,
that was good.
Send me the slip. Right. I'll hold it.
Send me the slip.
All right, and then like I said, we had our parlay from yesterday that is carrying over into today. 1 leg left. We do have the Bucks plus 10.5. The parlay was Lamar plus or 40+ rushing yards, Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown, over 42.5 in the Packers and Niners game. And like I said, the last leg of the Bucks plus 10.5, plus 270 on the parlay. So looking to bring that one home this afternoon. Does anyone else got anything? Any other plays? Anything you wanted to touch on? Props you were looking at, things like that?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some good props. Like I said, I like Godwin and Evans on their reception totals. I think Sam Laporta, I wasn't confident in him last week, but he looked fully healthy. I think he's going to have a full
41.5 receiving yards. Yeah, so I was looking at that.
Yeah, full workload once again. It was crazy. I stayed away for the first time like all year last week, but I was just worried about that injury and didn't loom large. Worried about the running backs in that Detroit-Tampa Bay game. I think it's going to be tough for either of them to get going. Both those teams, like I said, hang their hat on their rush defense. Points in both games. Give me the over in both.
Mackie.
Sorry, what was that?
Any other props you're looking at?
Yeah.
No, I've been trying to keep it light. I don't think I've won a playoff bet yet, to be honest. I think I'm like 0-5, so trying to keep it light. I'm really hoping
You're
Tampa can
due.
kind
You're
of
due.
yeah. I'm gonna throw a 5-unit plan Tampa today. No,
Mackie, would you rather go 0 for 5 or 0 for 80? As long as you keep shooting, right? Dion
0 for 80, man. I'd rather go 0 for 80.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me the Tampa Bay -6 today.
Excited for some great football today,
+6.
boys. I think the hottest card in the league is ready to give us some takes on their college basketball. Huff and Mackie, why don't you dive in? I got to listen up because I'm riding.
Yeah, Mackie, have you taken a look at most of these plays today for this game? We got a couple of Big Ten matchups. Illinois, who has fucked us multiple times in the past week, playing it at 1 o'clock. I like that Maryland game. Did you have any plays that you want to get through for college basketball? A
Yeah,
lot of the mid-major conferences going. It's a lot of Big Ten,
it's
but
always mid-major, and you always get the Big Ten on the Fridays and the Sundays.
it's so annoying, and we force Big Ten plays.
Yeah. Illinois, I'm staying away from for the rest of the season. I like
Me too.
Maryland today, underdogs at home. I like Memphis going on the road, the -3.5. The line's moved a good amount. Memphis scores a lot of fucking points. I think that they'll be able to take care of business in that one. The mid-majors, I don't like to touch. I don't like to dive too deep into them. That's all I'm really looking at. I know Utah's -5.5 against Oregon. Oregon coming off a pretty tough loss. I think that they can kind of bounce back, but they're on the road, 5.5 point spread, kind of sketchy spread. I'm probably going to stay away from it.
Normally we're always talking football, so if you're still hanging around, Huff, tell them why we're giving out these college basketball picks here. Let us know what we're sitting at for units on the air. If you want to make money, I know we like football.
Mackie, you got the record. You did the results on you posted them on Twitter yesterday. I'm not caught up on Canva yet. What's the official record in units for the year?
Hold up. It is
50 something. 63, 37, and 3 plus 23.42 units. So we've been absolutely murdering.
If you're not tapping in, now's the time. I don't even know what's going on. I just see the play come in. You get that alert, hit the alert button on our social media, and it'll cash green for you.
Yep. So yesterday we had Wake Forest -15. Mackie was big on that one. Tennessee -5.5. Nebraska -3. Texas -1.5. St. John's blew a second half for us. We had the money line for St. John's and then got killed by the hook in Texas. Texas -2.5. They win the game by 2. Brutal start to the day, but we ended up making it up for it with Nebraska and Texas Tech in the later slates. 4-2 plus 1.7 units on the day. So trying to feed people some of these college basketball plays, like we said, 63 and 37 on the year, plus 23 units. We're definitely making up for it in college basketball for what we're not doing in the NFL personally. So, but yeah, so Mackie, I am with you. I was looking at that Maryland game. I think that that's a good spot for them at home. I'm trying to pull it back up here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so I have +1.5. I'm not big on Michigan State. I do like AJ Hogard, or however you say his name, for Michigan State. But as far as a team this year, especially on the road, I'm not big on Michigan State. We've taken Maryland a couple of times this year, so I think that could definitely be a play. Maryland at noon.
Yeah, we could definitely look into that. Yeah, I like that play, actually. We can look into that.
We'll have to keep going, and I'll have to dive in and look at some more of these games. Definitely wanted to get the record out there. To make sure you're staying tuned to the social media for all the NFL, all the college basketball, NHL plays. We have a nice NHL slate today as well as NBA, so might be trying to get some plays out for the other sports, just so you don't have to wait until 3 o'clock for this Lions game to get some action in. So. But other than that, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys whenever Thursday for the AFC and NFC Championship round weekend episode. Like I said, thanks for listening. Make sure you're sharing, following, subscribe, post notifications on so you're not missing any of these college basketball, NFL plays. Keep fading me and Mackie, and keep riding Ace and with the college basketball plays, because that's basically how the season's gone so far for me in the NFL. But that's going to do it for us this week. Like I said, we'll see you guys on Thursday. And AFC, NFC Championship, we said we already got some pretty premier matchups locked up. 49ers already there. Ravens already there waiting their opponents from the games today.
Do we get a 1-2? Do we get a 1-2-1-2? I don't think so. I'm on the Chiefs. I'm on the Bucks, but very possible that we get a 1-2-1-2 on each side.
Would that be the first time that's happened in how long?
A while.
Definitely. Yeah. I don't know. I was rooting for those Packers last night, but I definitely that comeback win from San Fran. But like Mackie said, I don't think they're as scary. But yeah, we'll get into that on Thursday, whenever we're talking about this NFC Championship matchup. Whenever one of these teams, either Tampa or Detroit's heading out there for the NFC Championship. But like I said, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll get the plays out to you. First game starts at 3. We'll get the plays out by 1:30, 2 o'clock. So make sure you have some time to lock in things. But other than that, thanks for listening. We'll see you Thursday.
Take that cash.